Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. If you're not a subscriber yet on YouTube, click the red subscribe button. If you like this content, give it a thumbs up. That helps the channel grow. Today's topic is going to be, why are you still talking about your symptoms? All right, I'll get to that in a minute. So, I'm going to relax for a second, say hello to Finn. Here he is. Hey, Finny. What are you doing? What are you doing? All right, so why, oh why, are you still talking about your symptoms? All right, now if you're brand new to the channel, I'm going to really encourage you to watch my Fast Start video, dansfaststart.com. There's a series of videos that really gets you up to speed very quickly on what causes pain or symptoms and what to do about it. Also, how to assess whether or not the things I talk about and teach every day apply to you, right? Because it's really important to understand what's going on and also to figure out, does this apply to me and my stuff? But once you've done that and you understand that, okay, yeah, this stuff makes sense, this is exactly what's going on with me, why are you still talking about your symptoms? You know, some people talk about their symptoms to pretty much anybody who will listen. And, you know, I get messages all the time, emails all the time, people talking about their symptoms, how awful they are, and everything like that. And here's the key point. As long as you're talking about your symptoms, you're keeping them present in your mind. This is a brain game here. What we're trying to do is teach this scared, misinformed brain that the symptoms aren't necessary, that there's actually nothing wrong in our body that warrants having symptoms. Now, look, there are certain cases where people might say, yeah, but I've got this or that. But is the this or that the cause of the problem, or are they the result of a scared brain? There's no downside to doing this work. There's no downside to teaching your brain that you're actually okay. There's no downside to remaining calm regardless of what the symptoms are doing. And there's no downside to telling yourself that, you know, this is temporary. You're not lying to yourself. It's factual because you understand what's causing the symptoms and you know that it applies to you, right? Really important for you to recognize that. So why are you still talking about your symptoms? Neuroplasticity says that what you speak about most often gets wired. What you think about, do, your actions, they become wired. You know, you can start to learn how to play a musical instrument, and in the beginning, there's no connections here. It doesn't know how to do it very well. But over time, with practice, the brain will start to say, oh, Dan keeps on picking up a guitar. I guess we better start wiring that stuff, right? And the brain also has this amazing ability to unwire the things that are no longer important. So, for example, I did a video, I don't know, maybe a month ago, how I taught myself to forget Spanish, the Spanish language. And it wasn't through any proactive effort. It was by shifting my attention away, and by not speaking Spanish, I forgot how to speak Spanish. My brain allocated those connections to other things. So if you want your brain to stop firing the pain signals, you can't be speaking Spanish every day and wondering why you still know how to speak Spanish. If you want your brain to forget how to fire pain signals, speaking about your pain or your other symptoms all the time to anybody who will listen with a high degree of intensity is not how we teach the brain to turn it off. Now, I'm not a huge guy with brain rewiring. I just wanted to give you the context behind today's message, because understanding that the brain's going to wire the things you think and, you know, focus on most often, think, say, and speak about most often, and it's going to let go of the things that are no longer viewed as important to you. That's why showing your brain little to no concern about your symptoms. And how is that possible? Because you know what causes them and you know that it applies to you. Because you've done the assessments, right? So it's so important. And honestly, you probably don't even like hearing yourself talking about the symptoms. If people around you are always asking you how you're doing, you can literally coach the people around you to stop asking. But I like the sympathy. I like to be able to talk about it, but it's not doing you any favors. It's really not helping you to get better quicker by speaking about them. Look, maybe one person, maybe a partner, a spouse, or a best friend or something, parent. But don't make it a daily habit. Don't make it a 5 times a day habit. And if they're asking you 5 times a day, how are you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Coach them. Ask them gently, politely. Hey, you know what? I want to try something here. I want to speak about my symptoms and my current situation as little as possible. So do me a favor. If I need some help, I'll ask you. But until then, don't ask me how I'm doing all the time. Even if you see me wincing in pain or reacting to some symptoms, don't ask me. Because that conversation doesn't do anything other than shift my focus to the symptoms. And the two things that keep symptoms persistent are fear and attention. So, really recommend you not talk about your symptoms, or as minimally as possible. If you have to go to a doctor for some reason, ask him, hey doc, I just want to rule out the big stuff. Is there anything I should be concerned about? Is anything life-threatening going on? No? Is there any issue with you, or do you have any issue with me employing a mind-body approach towards eliminating these symptoms? And they'll probably say, well, no, I recommend the medicine or this treatment or that surgery, whatever. Sometimes you don't need to ask permission. Basically, rule out the big stuff. Cancers, tumors, infections, actual fractures, if there was a true, accident impact to your body. And after that, if you've done the assessments, isthispdp.com, if you've done those assessments and it says it's TMS, a medical label that you get doesn't negate the fact that your symptoms are behaving like perceived danger pain, perceived danger symptoms created by the brain perceiving danger. So, don't talk about your symptoms all day, every day. And as much as possible, try not to think about them and focus on them and worry about them and try to fix them all day either. Neuroplasticity is going to keep them wired if you keep on engaging in it. So that's what I got for you today. Don't talk about your symptoms. It's never beneficial. Yeah, you'll get a little bit of empathy from the people around you. But do you want that sympathy or do you want to get better? And I know this is a tough nut to crack. It's difficult. We've been in a habit of talking about symptoms forever. I remember walking down the street in my neighborhood and them going, hey, Dan, how's your back? It's okay. And sure enough, I end up in a 10-minute conversation with my neighbor who also had back problems. Right? Was not beneficial for getting better. So, why are you speaking about your symptoms? Probably because it's top of mind. It's very consuming, all-consuming. But if you do want to speed up your recovery, speak about your symptoms as little as possible. And if you do, in a very calm, hey, I'm doing okay, actually, thanks. Appreciate you asking. How are you? What's going on? Change the subject if people ask you how you're doing. Oh, I'm doing good. I don't want to talk about that. What's up with you? It's pretty straightforward. And it is beneficial. So, I'm going to wrap it up there. Hope everybody's doing well. Love you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.